Test 1 2, testing 1 2. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Today's reading is going to be for the fire signs. So let's go ahead and set our intention for the reading. And cleanse the space. I have this white candle. It is a white candle. White candles are good for clearing and protection energies. And it's pretty much a blank slate that you can use for anything. Of course, your intention is always going to be what is most important. And you might see me looking off in this direction. And that is because my camera monitor is over here and my camera is right next to it. Right next to it. So go ahead, take some deep, cleansing breaths. We'll light the candle. And just focus on one of the flames that you see here. And relax. Any questions that you have, you want to be answered, let them come to the forefront of your mind. Don't stress out about them. Just allow them to wait there patiently. Wonderful, 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 wonderful. You are doing an amazing job so far. You are doing an amazing job so far. I'll try not to be too loud as I move my things around. There we go. So, for the readings this week, I am using the Dame Darcy Mermaid Tarot. I really love this deck. The illustrations are just beautiful. And when we go over to the crystal scrying on the members section of the channel, I will be using this piece of merlinite. It's also called dendritic opal. Dendritic opal, dendritic opal. And I will start shuffling the cards. So go ahead and just focus on any questions you might have now. Think about what you would like to be bringing into your life and what things you're ready to let go. And we will be starting with the fire sign of Aries. I did also want to mention that I do personal readings. I have them available at several different price points. And all of that information is down in the description box below. When you get a personal reading, it is much more attuned to your particular astrological information. But you can also watch your sun, moon, rising sign. You could even decide to watch your north node. I like to watch my north node sometimes. Or your Jupiter placement, or your Venus placement for love, or Jupiter and Venus for money. So on and so forth. All right, Aries. So I'm going to lay your cards out, and then I'm going to write down the timestamp. Don't let me forget. We have a lot of reversals for your reading today, Aries. You only have one card showing up upright. Now, if I had 0 cards show up upright, I would have picked them all up and reshuffled. But because I had one card show up upright, and it was the 9 of Cups, I know that it's appropriate for me to continue. What that does tell me, however, Aries, is that there might be a lot of misdirection. There might be a lack of focus in your life right now. And there might be just a lot of confusion and a lot of different things going on. We have a lot of minor arcana cards here. There are 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 minor arcana balanced by 3 major arcana. And 2 of those major arcana cards are reversed. We'll get to that. Here in the past, we have the 2 of Cups, and it's showing up in the reverse. So the 2 of Cups can be a card about relationships. You could have gotten into a relationship, or this could be a relationship which has recently ended, because this card is showing up reversed, and it's showing up in the past. So this could be about a past relationship that you have had. In the current situation, we have the Knight of Cups. Now this is showing up reversed, but the Knight of Cups can be somebody rushing towards you to express their feelings. The Knight of Cups in the reverse can also be about you trusting your own gut at this time, being able to trust your gut and trust your heart. And it looks like you might be having a difficult time doing that right now. The Knight of Cups in reverse can also be someone who is overly controlled by their emotions. Now, when we're looking at this present position in the reading, this also has to do with the position of the querent, you, the person receiving the reading, and where your headspace is at this time. So having this card show up in the reverse here for you does reinforce the idea that there might be a lot of confusion going on, a lot of misdirection, not really being confident about which way to go, and perhaps being overly controlled by one's emotions. The card that we have crossing this position is the Chariot card. And the Chariot card is always read, or I beg your pardon, the crossing card to the querent is always read as being upright. The Chariot card is read however it falls in the reading. But this is a very strong card about mobility and victory. You could be in a very good position to achieve everything that you desire at this time, but be lacking the intuitive feeling that lets you know that you're headed in the right direction. Down here in the Imam Silai, we are looking at what is going to drive the motion of the events in your life towards your destiny. And the card we have there is the Ten of Wands, and it's reversed. So in this case, the reversal is a good sign. It shows that you're going to be casting off and putting down all of these burdens that you see this figure carrying on this card. That you will no longer be carrying that baggage, whether it is your own or whether it is baggage that has been kind of thrust upon you by other people and traumatic situations. From your perspective on the situation, we have the Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. You could be waiting to hear back about a job offer. You could be perceiving at this time that you don't have a lot of opportunities for new financial situations, for new growth in your life. From an outsider's perspective, we have this Nine of Cups, and it's in the upright position. So where we have the Nine of Cups upright, that is a card of wish fulfillment. It is a card of contentment. And so others around you might perceive your position to be quite good at this time, actually. And I do think that is a very accurate reflection. We do have this Chariot card here as well, that perhaps there has been some victory, but that your own mental state within the current circumstances is perhaps not the most conducive to capitalizing on this. So one thing that I would invite you, Aries, moving forward, is to embrace the current circumstances. Get out of your own head, get out of your own heart, and make an effort to really connect and ground yourself at this time. Here in the future, we have another card related to victory, and that is the Six of Wands. Now, this card is showing up reversed, but it's in the future. So I think the potential is there for this victory, whatever this represents to you. We did have this card about Pentacles, but I'm not seeing a lot of pentacles showing up in this reading. I'm seeing many more wands and cups. And what that tells me is that you're much more focused on your own emotional well-being at this time. And you're also much more focused on your creativity and your passions. You are a fire sign, so wands are the suit of fire. The potential is there for this victory, but I think that you just haven't seen it quite come in yet, Aries. You don't quite perceive yet what is going to move you into that victory. Here, from the standpoint of your hopes and fears, we have the Ten of Swords reversed. And of course, a lot of people are made quite uncomfortable by the Ten of Swords energy. I think in this particular case, what it could be indicating is your concern that a particular painful situation in your life might end up being unnecessarily drawn out. But remember, down here in the Imam Silai, and this is the true reflection of the current situation. This is not your headspace. This is not how other people perceive the situation. This is the truth of the matter, is that you are casting off burdens at this time. And there is a lot of simplification involved in that. So to see that you're concerned about this painful ending, I don't think there's as much to worry about as you might feel based on your own being in your head about things at this time. Now, up here in the midheaven, this is going to be all of the events that result from what we're seeing down here in the Imam Silai with that Ten of Wands reversed. So the casting off of burdens, and then the destiny is that we have the Hierophant in reverse. Now, the Hierophant could mean a few different things in this position, because we are talking about an eventual outcome. So it might be reversed because the potential is there, but you're not able to see that outcome yet. You're not able to see the circumstances by which that might take place. So that's a possibility. It could be that this Hierophant card is showing up in the reverse. We had this Two of Cups in the past, right? And this was reversed. And then we also have this, Ten of Wands down here in the Imam Silai. So in that case, the Hierophant could be a divorce, but it would only be a divorce in a case where the marriage was a burden to you. The Hierophant could also represent a future marriage with a partner you haven't met yet, telling you that after you have cast off all of the burdens from this past relationship, that you'll be able to move forward and you will eventually get married. The Hierophant could be reversed up here in the midheaven position, because this card also has a lot to do with the status quo and predominant moral values of a society. It can also have to do with spiritual leadership. But if you are casting off burdens in your life right now, this may eventually lead you to cast off as well ideas that are too based in cultural status quo and might not actually be serving you in the long term. And the final outcome for your reading, Aries, we have the Hanged Man in the reverse. And this also is about casting off burdens. This card reversed can be a refusal to continue to self-sacrifice because you think that you're helping others. So those are some important things to take away from this card in the outcome position in the context of the reading overall. Because, of course, all of these cards can be read in a variety of ways based on position, intuition, and how it completes the overall narrative. There is a little bit of intuition involved in the tarot, but not as much as something like scrying. So, Aries, I think that concludes your reading for the day. Thank you so much for joining me. I am going to be turning these cards over and continue to the sign of Leo. And then when I go over to the scrying extended video on the members side of the channel, I will have all of these cards here that I can reference while I do the scrying. All right. So, Leo, if you would just kind of set your intention, take some deep breaths, deep breaths, deep breaths. And this does a lot to stimulate the vagus nerve as well, which is the communication of the autonomic nervous system in your body with the brain. And Leo, just focus on any questions that you might have, any concerns, anything you would like to know about for the week, the month, the year ahead. And don't focus on your problems as problems. Think about what would be the most ideal solution. Kind of come at it from that angle. Not so much like, oh, my life sucks, oh, my life is so terrible. But think about it like, what could make my life better? What are ways that I could improve my life, or that circumstances could be different and that would improve things? Oh, Juan, Sagittarius is next. I'm on Leo right now. We just did Aries. And once this live stream concludes, I will be putting the timestamps down in the description. But thank you for asking. I'm almost done shuffling your cards, Leo, I promise. So just relax, relax, relax. Relax, 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 relax. All right, so I'll turn the cards over and I will note the timestamp. All right. Leo, let's start here in the past. We have this card, the Three of Cups. The Three of Cups is a very close-knit friend group. And this card is showing up in the upright in the past, which lets me know that this is a condition that continues into the present. So it could be that a lot of your focus over the past few months has been really cleaving to yourself, a close knit and intimate friend group, people with whom you can share very deep and profound meaning in life, whether that is in the form of secrets, shared interests. It could be people with whom you feel a very close affinity. But actively seeking these people out, actively going through all of your social media and deciding, like, whom among these people are actually my friends and whom among these people do I just kind of like their posts all the time? And if you find yourself liking someone's posts a lot or feeling, that proximity, you might want to reach out to them also. See if they could become a much closer friend. And this, of course, is in the environment that we're currently in. At this particular time that I'm giving this reading, we are in the middle of a pandemic swell. And so a lot of my advice is going to be informed by that and, encouraging people not to necessarily try to go out and interact with people in public. But there could have been some of that. There could have been some getting together with people in very small groups, people that you're just very close to and enjoy their company quite a bit. Here in the current situation, we have the Eight of Swords. Now, this card is showing up in the upright. That tells me that you might feel hemmed in. You might feel trapped. You might feel constrained in some way in the current time. Now, you can see that the way that this person is tied up is not very secure. They could probably squirm out of that if they wanted to. Remove the blindfold. The swords aren't behind them, they're only in front of them. So if they knew what was going on, they could just turn around and walk away. They wouldn't be trapped anymore. The crossing conditions for the current environment that you occupy. This being the current environment, this person on the card represents you. It doesn't matter if you're a man, woman, non-binary, etc. The crossing conditions are represented by the Emperor card. Now, this tells me that you've built a very nice gilded cage for yourself, Leo, in the current state of affairs. The Emperor here would represent the control you are able to exercise over your life, stability. The Emperor is the fourth card of the major arcana, also representative of the fellow fire sign, Aries. You are the one piloting the ship, further letting me know that it would be very easy for you to turn around in a certain situation and walk in a different direction. Down here in the Imam Silai, This is the basis for all of the things that are going to be happening in the midheaven position, which is your eventual goal and destiny. And what we are looking at down here is the Four of Wands. You may have cause for celebration. This could be a marriage. The Four of Wands can be a card of marriage. It's a card of graduation. It's a card of promotion. All of these things which are cause for celebration. The Four of Wands is like a happily ever after, but it's the first book in the series, and you know there will be a sequel. Your perspective on the current situation. We have the Knight of Pentacles. So money is coming in towards you. Kind of like money is rushing in quickly, but one thing about the Knight of Pentacles is that this is earth, material energies, and it is a little more difficult to bring things down from the etheric into the physical plane. So that takes a little extra time. Earth signs are very grounded. So there is a much more methodical process to the Knight of Pentacles. So money is coming into you, but and it is coming in quickly. But there might still be some planning and process behind that. The next card represents other people's perspectives on the current situation. So we don't necessarily always need to know how everyone else feels about us, but in certain situations, it can kind of help and round out that perspective and understand why people are acting towards us maybe the way that they are. We have the Eight of Cups in the reverse. Now, this is a very interesting card to get here. So remember, we had in the current situation representing you, the querent, we had another eight. We had the Eight of Swords. And the Eight of Swords in the upright is a little bit like the Eight of Cups in reverse, such that where we have the Eight of Cups, there's mobility. This person had almost everything complete, and then they've chosen to walk away from it. But people are perceiving that you haven't done that, that you haven't walked away from whatever this is. Some people could also have an inverse perception that you made a choice to walk away from something that was very good, and perhaps that wasn't the right choice for you. But that's not what I'm seeing here. I'm seeing that it probably was the right choice for you to make if you did walk away from something. And this might also be other people perceiving about you that you refuse to give up on a situation. Here in the future, Leo, we have the Two of Wands, and this card being reversed in the future as a little bit like Spirit saying, I'm just not ready to reveal that yet. The Two of Wands is our planning processes. The Two of Wands can also be thought about like any kind of vision boards or manifestation exercises that you take part in that involve forethought and planning. So things like when they tell you to start at the end and work backwards or live from the end. In this particular case, because this card is reversed, you might not be ready to do that yet. Or there might be something that is being held back as a surprise. And here in your hopes and fears, we see a card that really sheds a lot of light on that. The Page of Swords. The Page of Swords is doing your research. This is somebody who's on a fact-finding mission. So sometimes we'll see this card reversed, and we'll know that people are spying on us. But this is you keeping an ear to the ground, wanting to be aware of these changes before they occur. And I do think that this is in reference to this money coming in, that you want to know where this money is going to be coming from. But of course, if you are working in law of attraction and manifestation, it is important not to be asking those questions. It's much more important to be focused on your goals and focused on your passions. Focusing on your goals and focusing on your passions. And knowing that the two will meet in the middle because that's the intention that you set. So that's very important. Now, up here in the midheaven, we have the Ten of Cups, and it's showing up in the reverse. So there could be an emotional cycle that will be ending for you in the future. It could be based around this Four of Wands situation, wherever you have this celebration or a reason for celebration in your life. There could be an eventual finality to that. The Ten of Cups here reversed in this distant future position can also be the potential. The potential is here, but the card is reversed for legacy wealth and a legacy to be built. The Ten of Cups is slightly different from the Ten of Pentacles, but that is the feeling that I'm getting for it here, is not so much just about the money. I can see for you right now, Leo, that there is kind of a focus on money. But really what the focus needs to be on is the entire package. So the Ten of Cups is much more about that. And having all of that fit together. And I think the potential is there. But it's going to depend on the work that you put in yourself. And the final outcome here is the Seven of Cups upright. You're going to have a wide variety of options open to you. Now, as far as the timeline is concerned, I think this is going to happen first. That first you're going to be able to see what is right in front of you. And then all these options, I think, are available to you right now. But it might not be possible for you to really perceive and see them yet. So that is definitely going to move you out of this. It's just going to be important to take this blindfold off and be able to move in a slightly different direction to avoid being trapped by those swords. All right, Leo, so that concludes your reading for this particular week ahead. And now we are going to be moving on to the fire sign of Sagittarius. Sagittarius. And I'm just turning these cards over so that I will have them available for the extended crystal scrying. And Sagittarius, thank you for everyone who has joined me here today or who joins me after the live stream has concluded. Sagittarius, if you would take some deep, relaxing breaths. Sigh out any tension that you might be carrying in your body. Just be very gentle. Be very gentle with your body at this time. Be very gentle with your psyche. This is not a time to beat yourself up over decisions poorly made. This is a time to see the potentials unfolding for you in the future. So, Sagittarius, any issues and problems that you might perceive in your current life, just kind of allow those to rise to the forefront of your mind, but not in a way that causes you stress or in a way that you think about how difficult things are. Oh, hi, Dawn. It's good to see you. Just kind of relax and think about these things in terms of how you can make them better, or how even circumstances might change to make them better. You don't want to surrender your power, but it is also very true that our circumstances are things that we cannot always get around on our own. And I acknowledge that, and I think it's important to acknowledge that. I'm almost done shuffling your cards, I promise. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining me today. Okay, let me write down the timestamp for your reading, Sagittarius. Okay. Let's start back here in the past. So we have this Two of Pentacles. I think that recently you've done quite a bit in your life to bring things into balance. The Two of Pentacles is very similar in many ways to Sagittarius's card in the Major Arcana, which is the Temperance card. But the Two of Pentacles is only really just one facet of that energy. However, I can see here in the past that you've done quite a bit of work to bring perhaps balancing your finances, but it could also be balancing any number of things in the more mundane world. Balancing work life with home life, balancing your diet, balancing your budget. All of these things would be tied into that earth material world energy. We do have some more pentacles here in the current situation. So this card is going to represent you, the querent, Sagittarius. And we have the Six of Pentacles in the upright. The Six of Pentacles is also in some ways a card of balance. This is the way that we manage the ebb and flow of our finances and our energy, our resources. So sometimes you are very generous with other people, and perhaps you're donating to charity or giving to people who need it, and you have the resources to provide at a certain time. At other times, perhaps you're borrowing money in order to start a new project or things like that. So that's kind of what we see here with the Six of Pentacles, that we've already come to a place of balance, Sagittarius, and now we are ready to get creative with that. Crossing energy, however, is very interesting for your reading, Sagittarius. We have the Five of Cups, which is about disappointments. So it could be that despite all of this balance being achieved in your life, there might be other factors at play as well that are leading to this disappointment. Perhaps you thought that you would have more to work with if you did finally balance everything out. Or perhaps there were instances where you gave energy to things and you had the energy freely to give, but perhaps there was an expectation. And I'm not saying it's bad to have expectations, just hear me out here. There might have been an expectation that you were to get something back in return, and that is not what happened. So it's important to be able to hold people accountable when the expectation has been made clear, of course, and especially if there's legal paperwork involved. We'll get to that. Down here in the Imam Sili, this is the circumstances by which we will be achieving the things that we see up in the midheaven, which is the goal or destiny position. Okay. And the card that we have down here in the Imam Sili is the Strength card. Now, the Strength card is your fellow fire sign Leo's card in the Major Arcana. And the Strength card also has some commonalities with the Temperance card. Now, we don't have the Temperance card here in your reading, but we have all of these energies that kind of add up to the Temperance card. So one thing about the Temperance card, and I keep bringing these things up because, Sagittarius, these are things that you as a mutable fire sign and you as the recipient of that Temperance card energy, these are all things that you can be extra mindful of and tap into in a way that perhaps other astrological signs would not be as adept at doing. What am I talking about here? Well, the Strength card is about mastery, much like the Temperance card. The Temperance card is achieving balance, but it is also a card of artistry. It is a card of practice. The Strength card is a card of mastery when it comes to having strength with others. So this mermaid is riding on this lion, and he has got his head turned around, and you're like, well, is he going to bite her or is he going to lick her? It could be either one, but she is not worried. She knows that the lion is not going to eat her because she has persuaded it gently not to do so. It takes a great deal of strength, actually, and mastery to be gentle. Here, from your perspective, we have the Ace of Cups. So there's an emotional renewal going on for you at this time, Sagittarius. The Ace of Cups can, of course, have to do with your ability to commune with your higher power. It is pure water elemental energy and therefore would encompass all of the water signs. The Ace of Cups can be meeting new people, But it can also be about getting a deeper emotional understanding of yourself. So, all of those things are possibilities at this time for you, Sagittarius. Now, from an outside perspective, looking in, we have the Justice card reversed. So, from an outside perspective, people might perceive that there has been an injustice done towards you, Sagittarius. And that really goes back to what we were seeing here with the Six of Pentacles and the Five of Cups. That these resources you had freely to give. And that's kind of like the Strength card here, too, right? You had that strength to give to this situation. But perhaps it was part of the arrangement that you were to get something back in return. And I perceive here from this reading that that has not happened. Your approach to this, although it does involve disappointment, is to have this renewal of the self. I don't think that you are dwelling on this Five of Cups. I do think that you have turned around and you've taken up one of these cups in order to move forward with your life. I don't think that you're dwelling on this disappointment. The card that we have for you in the immediate future is the Queen of Wands, and this is indeed a fire sign energy. Queen of Wands is sometimes associated more with Leo, but is also very strongly fire sign energy and could definitely apply to you in this case, Sagittarius. The Queen of Wands is somebody who's the life of the party, somebody very charismatic, very persuasive, very much embracing this energy of the strength of mastery over others through persuasion rather than force, and being gentle. Very creative energy as well. You don't have to be a feminine person to be in Queen of Wands energy. Queen of Wands is water of fire energy, so it is a tempering process, very much like the Temperance card. Here in the realm of your hopes and fears, we do have the Queen of Pentacles card. So we've had the Two of Pentacles, we've had the Six of Pentacles, and we're hoping to move into this area of financial independence and financial fertility. That is really the key to the Queen of Pentacles card, because the Queen of Pentacles here is water of earth energy. So there we have watering the earth in order for things to prosper and grow. Here in the midheaven position, so this is going to be the result of the strength that you are embodying in the current environment. We have the Fool card, and this card is upright. So this is going to be a new beginning for you, and it's going to be a new beginning where you leave all your baggage behind. There are no preconceived notions going on here about what is going to happen when she jumps off this cliff. She hasn't really given it a lot of thought. So there's going to be a new beginning coming through for you in which you are able to leave whatever this disappointment is far, far behind you. There's a lot of commonality between this Ace of Cups energy that is your current renewal and this Fool card that's showing up for you in the midheaven position. And then we have the final outcome. And this is a very interesting card to get in the final outcome. And I would really, in order to read it more specifically, this would have to be a personal and not a general reading. But I'll give you some of the meanings and you take which ones resonate for you. We have the Three of Wands in the reverse. Now, this is diagonal to this Justice card reversed. But this card is showing up in the future. So the potential is there for any of these energies that you have put out here with the Six of Pentacles. The potential is there for those energies to return to you. Now, it's not going to be as much as you'd hoped because here we're going from 6 to 3, right? So it'll probably be half as much as you had hoped. And because the card is reversed, I wouldn't hold my breath and wait for this because it's a possibility. The potential is there, but it is not necessarily guaranteed that it's going to happen. And it might not even be reliant on your behavior in the situation. It might be more reliant on other factors. So what the cards are encouraging you to do is to make a new start and forget about it. And if it comes back around, that's great. But if it doesn't, oh, hi, countries of the world. Thank you for stopping by. If it doesn't come back around, then you haven't sat around waiting for something that's not going to happen. All right. Well, thank you, Sagittarius. That concludes your reading for today. Thank you to everyone who stopped by for the Fire Signs Tarot stream today for this week. I greatly appreciate your support. I will be going now over to the members side of the channel to do the crystal scrying. Oh, Dawn, you're very welcome. And I look forward to seeing you again. Oh, thank you. Yes, I love this deck. It's the Dame Darcy Mermaid Tarot. I look forward to seeing you again.